Pasty everybody, back with another video. This is welcome to your sensory revolution thanks to the pandemic, and this is from April 27th, 2020. Now here are some people in the picture that are wearing masks, which is a bad idea, and I will tell you why. Last night I watched Dr. Shiva on Facebook live because I was hosting a watch party, and Dr. Shiva says do not wear a mask because it will lower your oxygen level in your body real fast if you keep wearing a mask. And if once your oxygen level goes way down, you will end up in a hospital, literally. So please don't wear a mask. Don't do what the news media is telling you, because you know what? It's all propaganda. It's all fake. It's not true. It's a smoke screen for something bigger than this. Every one of these evil people are going to go down one way or the other. Probably that's what's being done now. The evil people are going down or being taken down or whatever. I don't know. But if anybody remembers what Donald Trump has said was trust the plan. I'm not sure what he means by that, but I think that's what he wants you to do, is trust the plan. So whatever he's got planned, I'm pretty sure we're not a part of it. So all we can do is just do what we can to trust the plan, but please do not wear masks when you're going out, because it will kill your oxygen level real fast in your body. And then how are you going to breathe after that? I don't think anybody wants to go to a hospital for extremely low oxygen level in your body, because your body needs oxygen to breathe every day. And by wearing a mask, it's not helping any. The way we see, hear, taste, touch, and smell may never be the same again, and that is true. So all that mask wearing and that, it's all fake. It's not real, because it's just you're only hurting yourself with the mask by getting rid of your oxygen level. Courtesy of C19, we are undergoing a sensory revolution. All of the senses have been affected by the virus pandemic, not because the senses themselves have changed, but because the context environment in which we sense has been profoundly altered. So thanks to the C19, allegedly we are going under a sensory revolution. I don't think that's going to happen, because with all this mess going on, no, it's not a real thing that we're going through right now. It was all planned out. It was a table exercise. That's all it was. So this is a smoke screen, like I said. And of course, the news media is not telling you the truth of what's really going on, and they never will. So it's best to stay away from the news media permanently. Shut your TV off. Don't pay attention to it. Because if you keep paying attention to it, then you're going to look like robots for the news media. And then, it's just not fair at all that they're lying to us. Disney bought Fox. Fox bought out all these other mainstream media, and instead of using these news media for good, they used it for evil, and that's what it is now, evil. Sensory historians like myself, who study the ways in which people in the past used their senses to understand and navigate their worlds, find the sensory shifts and perceptions tended to happen very slowly, measured in decades, and centuries, not in mere weeks and months. Alright, so the century historian, the person didn't give his or her name, so we don't know if it's a man or a woman. But this person who studies the ways in which people in the past used their senses to understand, navigate their worlds. Well, what happened is the evil people, they used a a fear-mongering tactic against us. In other words, it interfered with our perception, what we really need to focus on. We need to think for ourselves. Stop allowing the evil people to use you, because they're using you like robots. They're taking away your perception in your brain. They don't want you to think for yourself. But you have to fight it. And fight against evil, because this is what God wants, is to fight against evil, because the evil people are losing their power anyways because of the awakening that's happening right now. So they're losing their power. But yeah, but just do not let fear take control of you, whatever you do, because you gotta your perception in your brain will get totally messed up, and then you won't be able to concentrate on what you really want to concentrate on. It's really bad what these evil people are doing, and it's just not right what they have done to us. They used fear-mongering, table exercise against us. Because that's what it was. It was an Event 201 and an Agenda 2030. So it was a table exercise. So this is what everybody fell into. And by interfering with our perception in our brain, we have to break out or use it for good instead of evil. Because the more you keep allowing the fear-mongering interfere with your perception in your mind, you're not going to be able to think for yourself anymore. And of course, here's the video from Global News, which I will not play it. I'll watch it in private. The very idea that there are only 5 distinct senses took ages to mature, gaining credence in the English, in the Enlightenment. This period not only disconnected erstwhile senses, such as the sense of intuition, but arranged the 5 senses into a distinctive hierarchy. Yeah, so it altered the senses. Alright, so this is why your brain has perceptions, to think for yourself instead of allowing fear-mongering come against you, because evil can never win. Only love can win. And the more we keep loving each other, love one another, the more evil is going to lose their power, because they don't care about nobody. They only care about themselves, and that's how it's always been. Evil only cares about themselves, and evil only cares about destroying people's lives, and we can't allow that. Because the more you're allowing evil to win, the more you're going to be in their agendas that you don't want to be a part of. It's really hard to not deal with it, but you don't have to deal with evil. You don't. Deal with the Word of God, because trust God. Don't trust the devil, because he is a liar. He's a fallen angel. This is why God kicked him out of heaven in the first place, because he was doing wrong by God. The age of reason empowered the eye as the sense of truth. Seeing was believing, said most thinkers in the 1700s. Sight was followed by hearing, understood as more refined than the so-called lower approximate senses. Those are smell, taste, and touch, senses that had once been held in high esteem in the ancient and medieval worlds, but which lost their currency and became more associated with the animal senses. Yes, so the age of reason empowered the eye, which helps you to see as the sense of truth. So that's what your eyes are, the sense of truth. You don't want to look at the evil because then you're going to fall right into that and you can't get out after that. Seeing was believing, said most thinkers in the 1700s. So in the 1700s, they had seeing was believing, and this was said by most thinkers in the 1700s. Sight was followed by hearing, understood as more refined than the so-called lower or proximate senses. Alright, so yeah, so then there was sight after that, after you've been seeing everything that's been going on. Then of course, those are smell, taste, and touch. Those are your other senses that you need. Senses that had once been held in high esteem in the ancient and medieval worlds. So the medieval worlds, they had like censoring or whatever it was, but of course, they had changed all that after that. But which lost their currency and became more associated with the animal senses. So they used the animal senses, like a cat could smell things, a dog could smell things a lot better than us humans can. So they have more sensitivity to smell things. These changes took time. Seeing was believing by about 1800, but it had taken centuries for the original iteration of the phrase "seeing is believing, but feeling's the truth" to lose its tactical component. So the change did take time. Seeing was believing by about 1800, and it had taken centuries for the original iteration of the phrase "seeing is believing, but feeling's the truth" to lose its tactical components. So what you're seeing on TV is not believing, okay? It's an illusion. The Matrix is an illusion. This is why they're trying to scare us, to keep you locked in the house all the time, but you don't have to stay in the house. You can go out, you can do things, but the more you stay in your house or self-isolation, your immunity will get weak. And then how you gonna function after that? Don't stay in a house. Go outside, get some sun, get the vitamin D from the sun, because self-isolation is not an option, because it will hurt your immunity system, literally, and then you'll be in the hospital for that. Even the same way with wearing a mask, your oxygen level will drop so quick you won't be able to stand up for a couple of minutes or two until you breathe some air in. Alright, here's the traffic thing. One of the screenshots from it disappeared from New York City, of course, because of this fake pandemic. With the century heretically intact, the 19th century ushered in some profound and long-term changes in how people used and understood their senses. Yes, so with the sensory heredity intact, the 19th century ushered in some profound and long-term changes. So it changed everything after, in how people used and understood their senses. Olfaction offers a good example. Western noses became more refined, more sensitive, and more alert to noxious smell. Rank and fetid smells gave way to a world that valued pleasant and deodorized smells. Washing and bathing became more popular, as did the use of perfumes and scents. Noses that could detect the difference were applauded. This olfactory evolution in smells and habits of smelling took about a century. Now think of the sensory changes that have taken place in just a matter of months. Yes, so in a matter of months, your senses have been altered, like I said. But you have to now think of the sensory changes that have taken place in just a matter of months. And of course, you know, with this pandemic, that is a table exercise. That's all it is. They used fear mongering to get you to stay in a house like good people. And you know, you don't have to. You don't have to listen to what the news media says. It was just a table exercise. They wanted to see how people would react to this table exercise. That's all. And obviously, a lot of you fell for it. And, you know, and it's really sad that a lot of people have fell for this table exercise. This pandemic thing is not real, and like I said, the Matrix is an illusion. That's all it is. Nothing is real in this world, because you know, I mean, the governments are fake. The politicians are fake. Nothing is real. You have to go by what God says. Deal with that. Trust his word. Don't trust the devil's word, because you know the devil's a liar. And he is never going to tell the truth. He may tell you one thing and then you go and do it, and then oops, all of a sudden, oh wait, I shouldn't have done this, da da da. Yeah, because you listen to the devil, what he's telling you. Don't listen to something evil that's going to keep you in fear for the rest of your life. Break out of the fear. Break out of it. Because that's the only chance you've got now. And yes, our Constitution is being violated, literally. And the government was supposed to protect our Constitution. And apparently that didn't happen because they don't care about people. And this is the only Constitution you got left, our freedom of speech. And I do believe it's the Second Amendment. And those are the only two left. And once those are taken away, that's it. You got nothing. And then what are you going to do? Once trusty eyes betray us in the face of an invisible enemy, seeing is no longer believing. Those who appear perfectly healthy may be unknowing disease transmitters. So yeah, once your trusty eyes betray us in the face, that's it. You're done. Is it a visible enemy? Seeing is no longer believing. So what you are seeing on TV is no longer believing. Turn your TV off. Get rid of the news media. Do whatever you got to do, because what they're saying is no longer believing. They expect you to believe it, but I wouldn't trust it at all. This is why my TV is off. until whenever I'll turn it on. But I will not watch the news media no more because it's evil now. The evil people used it for evil. And I mean, it's sad, but you know what? But it is the truth. But if the cause of C19 is invisible, its effects are empirically not. Desolate city streets are new sights. The absence of airplane contrails strikes many as almost primordial masks render once familiar faces unrecognizable. So the mask, you're unrecognizable. Stop wearing the mask because you're only going to kill yourself with the oxygen level being dropping rapidly. What you are going through is an invisible enemy. It's not real. It doesn't exist. Desolate city streets are new sights. The absence of airplane contrails strikes many as almost prominent masks render once familiar faces unrecognizable. So once you wear a mask, you're not going to be recognized at all. Stop wearing masks, please, because it's the only way you're going to save your life, and it's the only way you're going to keep your oxygen level in your body from dropping quick. Because once that happens, say hello to the hospital and hello to the doctors, because that's where you will end up at. Soundscapes have changed as have habits of listening. Virus spreaders are sometimes described as silent. Many urban dwellers hear less traffic and formerly smothered sounds such as bird songs now can be heard. Yes, so the only thing you're going to hear now is birds singing. You're not going to hear too much of anything else. I mean, yes, people can go out driving around in their cars and that, but they shouldn't be wearing masks either, because what happens if they have their oxygen level dropping real quick? Who's going to save them? Nobody, because you know what? They're afraid. And this is why you can't allow any of this evil happen to you, because they're putting fear into you. Say, oh yeah, now we're going to get, no, don't listen to them. The devil is a liar. He's always been a liar. And this is why the devil wants you to be afraid, but you cannot go against God. All right, trust God. Don't trust the devil. The world is in some ways a much quieter place. Seismic sensors are picking up activity that used to be drowned out by the activity of cities. None of these sounds is new, but the effects of C19 have reconfigured habits of listening and threshold of hearing. Human voices are louder because there are no whispers at 6 feet. And that 6 feet distance thing, that's BS too. That's not real either. Don't believe what the news is telling you. That social distancing thing, nah, that's not real either. It's full of crap. Don't believe it. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, you got to do it. Well, the governor did it. No, don't listen to him. I don't want to hear that. The governors and the politicians are evil. And I think this is why the invisible enemy wants us to be fearful. Don't be, because you know what? You're only making yourself look worse than what we're going through right now. They're fear mongering. They keep extending the lockdown day, and then what's going to happen? People are going to get fed up and start protesting everywhere, even though it has already happened, but still, more protests are going to start coming. And then what? I mean, seriously, don't allow yourself to be fearful because fear controls you. Don't allow your perception in your mind to be tampered with fear, because if it happens, then you're not going to be able to think for yourself. Then you're going to think, oh, where's this, and this? You wouldn't know where anything is because you allow fear to control you, and don't allow it. That's why when this first came out about the pandemic, I knew right away it was a hoax. I really did. I knew it was right away. That's why I wasn't afraid, because I knew it was all nothing but a big joke to the evil people. They're laughing at us because they got us controlled. Well, guess what? The awakening is happening now, and many people are waking up from the evilness that they have done to us. And I mean, the more you keep fighting this fear, the more you're going to wake up and say, oh, I feel a lot better after I have woken. Yeah, because we were all asleep by the evil people. They have dumbed us down so much that we could not think for ourselves anymore because they wanted us to believe what they tell us. And this is why, and it has been like that for centuries, even decades. So this is why you should never allow fear to control your mind, because it will mess up your perception in your brain. The sense of smell has been hit hard to breathe. After all, it is to smell. If you can, insomnia, the loss of the sense of smell, is an early sign of infection. Yes, so the sense of smell has been hit hard. It's taking away your sense of smell because of this fake pandemic we're going through. And of course, it's an early sign of an infection. So the more you keep self-isolating in the house, the more infections you're going to get, and then how you're going to get it treated. The doctors are not going to care. The nurses are not going to care. They're going to make sure you don't get no treatment. People are already dying as it is for not getting the care they need, like for cancer and diabetes and whatever else. They're not giving the people the care they need because they're afraid with this pandemic, and doctors and nurses shouldn't be afraid of it at all. I mean, there are videos out there where nurses are dancing around in the hospitals with nothing to do. That's all they're doing because the hospitals are empty. And what you see on TV, oh, the hospital's this, the hospital's that, blah, blah. No, it's not. It's all empty. Compare the TV to the reality of the hospital. You ain't going to find nobody in no hospitals. Hospitals are not overflowing. It's all a lie. Even the emergency room is not overflowing. Oh, well, there's a lot. No, there isn't. They're all lying to you. This is why you have to stop believing the lies, because you're always falling for it. Even if we keep our sense of smell, we know pause before inhaling, lest we breathe in an enemy we cannot see. Yeah, so we cannot see the enemy, but we know there is an invisible enemy somewhere. And also it says, even if we keep our sense of smell, we now pause before inhaling. Alright, so yeah, you gotta pause before you inhale the sense of smell. And once you do that, then you'll start smelling things that you normally would smell, like, let's say, the cooking of bacon. Now, we know all bacon smells real good. It, yes, it does come from a pig, I already know. But with the smell of bacon, it gives you that sense of smell that you want to smell. And there are many types of flavors of bacon. There's like maple, there's like, I don't know, smoked bacon and other kinds, and even regular. But it gives you that sense of smell that you want to smell. And without it, you lose all sense of smell because of this fear mongering, what the mainstream media has done to us. And of course, this is the alleged restaurant, I guess. I don't know. It says food tastes different if you can't eat it until you get it home. So, I mean, places, small businesses are shut down. The only way you're going to get food from fast food restaurants is takeout only, because they will not allow people in there. Taste is no longer an easily stated, and palates are rearranged. Restaurants still cater, but in takeout fashion and with less variety. Hot food once served in the restaurant is colder and less palatable after it's transported to the more distant dining room table. Clammy hamburgers on soggy buns served with limp French fries. Anyone? Grocery stores now ration once taken for granted staples, notably eggs, milk, and meat. Yes, so now taste is no longer as easily stated, and palates are rearranged. So, say like if you were somewhere, or I say like Tops, Wegmans, or wherever, there's plexiglass there at the registers. I went to Tops all the time. I was like, what, are you crazy? I didn't want to say anything, but I was looking at the registers. I was like, why is there plexiglass at the registers? Because there's no pandemic. And people wouldn't. And I'm thinking, well, these people are nuts. Why are they following what the devil tells them? Seriously? I mean, restaurants still cater, but in takeout fashion, and that's all they do is takeouts. You can't even go inside the restaurant no more, and as much as you want to. Hot food once served in the restaurant is colder and less palatable after it's transported to the more distant dining room table. So all these 6 feet distant, or 6 feet social distancing, is ridiculous. It's not real. They are tricking you to believe stuff like this. I mean, seriously, why are you letting the devil win? They don't care about, the devils don't care about you. They're saying, yeah, we got them all under control. It was about time. Well, guess what? Stop believing it, okay? Because, it's not a good feeling, because you're losing all your senses. You are self-isolating way too much because your immunity system is going low. Wearing masks, you're lowering your oxygen level more and more in your body. You need to stop all that. Now the question here is, clammy hamburgers on soggy buns served with limp French fries. Anyone? No thanks. I think I'm good with that. So, touch is the obvious sensory casualty in all of this. Centuries of handshaking habits have evaporated. High fives are gone. Outside of families, hugs, kisses, and nuzzles have all been lost with the fear of infection. And like I said, the infection is not real. The virus is not real. And like I said, it's a table exercise you all fell for. Touch is the obvious sensory casualty in all of this. Handshaking habits have evaporated. High fives are gone. Outside of families, hugs, kisses, and nuzzles have all been lost with the fear of infection. So everything's been lost with the fear of this fake affection that does not even exist. The C-19 is not real. It's a hoax right from the start. Um, People don't understand it's a seasonal flu. They just want to believe what they believe by the mainstream media. Not me. I don't believe any of it because it is fear-mongering people. And, they just think they can do whatever they want to us. But you know what? No. Don't let them do whatever they want to you. In sensory terms, there has been nothing like this. Even the violence done to the senses by war, hurricanes, tornadoes, and earthquakes is modest in scale and scope compared to this sensory revolution. Yes, so in sensory terms, there has been nothing like this, obviously. Even the violence done to the senses by wars, hurricanes, tornadoes, and earthquakes is modest in scale and scope compared to this sensory revolution. So, and with everybody starting to wake up now, they know the real truth of what's going on with the evil people because they think they're so funny, and they're not that funny because they're bad people, and yet you listen to them. Possible legacies, short term or long, are hard to fathom. Beyond the deaths, the long term effects of this pandemic will likely be in words and culture, not internal lockdowns. Sensory and radical turns of phrases will change. The results will not be even. Thanks to virtual communication, see ya and I hear ya should remain stable, but staying in touch and getting a grip could go the way of the sensory dinosaur. Yes, so possible legacies, short term or long, are hard to fathom. And of course, beyond the deaths, the long term effects of this pandemic, which is not true, like I said, I don't know. Do your research on Event 201, Agenda 2030. You'll know it's nothing but a table exercise. This is why they're doing this to us, because they want us to react how this, if it was a real pandemic, and it's not. But if normalcy eludes us, a whole new world of sensory engagement will emerge, and it could be terrifying. Our soundscape could be civil strife, punctuated while with the smell of tear gas and the surrounding sting of rubber bullets on flesh. And so a whole new world of sensory engagement will emerge. So I don't know, they emerge, but things are changing, and and it's not fair. I mean, we should be living our regular life and stop allowing all this fear mongering get to us, this and that. Because I mean, seriously, go out, have fun, do things you normally would do. Stop allowing fear to control your perception in your mind, because the more you allow it, the more you're never going to think for yourself. And you need to wake up, seriously. Like I said, it's already the Great Awakening. People are waking up from all this evilness that they have done to us for a lot of years. Our soundscape could be civil strife, punctuated with the smell of tear gas and the resurrounding sting of rubber bullets on flesh. And I don't think anybody wants to go through all that with tear gas in your eyes, and then you get the rubber bullets on you. Nah, I don't think anybody would want to go through all that. There is no sensory past that can guide us here. It is a genuine revolution of the senses, and it stinks. Yeah, it does stink really bad because you're allowing all this stuff to happen, and when you should be resisting it. Resist the evilness. Don't let them take control of you. Don't allow them to put fear in you, because in your mind, once you get into that fear, once you're in that fear stage, you're never going to be able to get out of it until you decide to wake up and say, hey, look, oh, I was fear of this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, stop being fearful, because it's only going to get you more fearful to go out and do what you got to do. Don't allow anything to take control of you. And like I said, our Constitution is being ripped apart already as it is. They're dismantling our Constitution. Freedom of speech and Second Amendment, I do believe, are the only ones left. And once those are gone, like I said, you're done. And then what are you going to do? That's why I have no loyalty to the politicians or the governments, because I am not a registered voter and never will be. And this is why I chose freedom over slavery. And freedom is a better choice to have than to be enslaved to these politicians and governments. Because once they take control of you, that's it. You're their slave for life, and there's nothing you can do about it. Really. Start filing lawsuits against the governors that are keeping you on extended lockdowns. Protest. Do anything you can to get away from it. Because if you don't, that's it. You're done. And then what are you going to do after? I mean, yes, the governors should be sued for these extended lockdowns, because they keep extending and extending and extending. Oh, we're going to be out by this date, by that date, by that date. No, they're lying to you. They don't care what about you at all. You may think, oh wait, I have a good governor. No, you don't. No, you don't. They're the deep state, and they're evil. They don't care what you have to say. You may say one thing, they're going to switch the narrative around. Oh well, blah blah blah. Nah, 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 nah. Don't give them any attention at all, because if you do, you're going to be embarrassed by the media, blah blah blah, and everything else. And then what are you going to do? Leave your comments below. I am out.